Welcome to Hashtag with Navguzi Chwanuka. This is a place where we help you unravel social constructs, discuss self-development in line with mental health, emotional well-being, and everything in between that directly or indirectly affects us in the millennial world around us. If you're hearing my voice for the first time and are the kind of person who is not scared of being a better version of yourself even if it requires you to contradict who you were 24 hours ago, consider this your virtual home. I'm your host, Navguzi Chwanuka, and I cannot wait to engage with you in the various conversations. Welcome to episode 83 of Hashtag with Navguzi Chwanuka. Our weeks on the podcast begin midweek, and today the person opening our week is none other than Wake. He is a Christian spoken word artist, rapper, and a music producer. The first time I attended a poetry night at the university was the first time I saw Wake perform, and I have since re-echoed his name because of such a great performance he put up that night. 7 years later or thereabout, here we are recording episode 83 with him. Music, poetry, mental health vis-a-vis Christianity are focal topics in this conversation. If anything resonates with you during our conversation, share with us on social media with the hashtag HTNKInSession. Here is our episode. Wake. Welcome to Hashtag with Navguzi Chwanuka.
Thank you very much. It's been a long time coming, man.
Hey, bro, hustle.
Man. But yeah, I'm happy and glad to be here. Finally. Yeah.
We can't tell you how much we struggled to get this done.
Man.
So finally, welcome to Hashtag with Navguzi Chwanuka.
Thank you very much. It is an honor, man.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Would you like to introduce yourself to the listener?
The listener out there, my name is Wake, original Mwanaweka, all the way from Palestine. I am a spoken word artist. I am a music producer. I am a rapper. I'm a child of God. What else am I? I am also a sound engineer also. Yeah.
Do you know why I'm laughing? Just this week I made a post about how I joined a WhatsApp group of the alumni of a school that I was in.
Yeah.
And they had asked us to introduce ourselves. Yeah. And this chick goes, I am a beloved child of God.
Come on now.
And in my head I'm like, whose am I?
We don't know. You tell us. Yeah, you need to profess it. Yeah.
So when you say child of God, I was like...
Then their heart's like, where does that leave you? I don't know. Are you a child of God?
All of us are.
Yeah, man.
No, it's like she emphasized, I'm beloved.
Yeah. There are people who I know who say that they are God's favorite child.
Man.
There's a rapper called Limo Blaze.
They're sidelining us.
God's favorite baby.
They're sidelining us. And then someone else came and she was like, I love and serve and breathe God. What?
Come on now.
What do you mean you breathe God? We breathe oxygen.
Not God. Wow. Wow.
So thank you so much for prophesying that you're a child of God. I am a child of God as well.
We all are, man. Yeah, we all are. Some people, though, have run away from God. So they'd be like, God.
Oh, yes. I think this morning I saw someone in their bio.
Yeah.
Which is weird. I don't know. Why is it in the bio? I don't believe in God.
Yeah. I mean, people have different, experiences of this God thing. There are people who don't think there is a God.
Exactly.
So, yeah. It is what it is.
What did you want to be growing up?
That's a very good question. I think I wanted to be a musician.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
How old was that?
Maybe around 4 or 5. I used to sing. My dad had this radio, Panasonic radio, it had a microphone. You could do like karaoke on it. Yeah. And so I would do like karaoke to Bobby Wine songs, Jessica Million songs, Koffi Olomide.
You knew what is
you knew Lingala. You could yeah. You know that song of Oh Mana Motoke Musi.
Yeah, but what's the original? I only know that one. I don't know that version. I only know that version.
I would be lying if I said I knew what the real one is. Yeah. So I think I wanted to be a musician. Then, of course, along the way, with getting introduced to school, there was the idea of being a pilot. Yeah. I don't know. My dream crashed.
How long did you keep the dream of being a pilot?
No, until I realized mathematics and I...
You knew the prerequisites of being a pilot?
I mean, I used to ask my dad, what does it take to be a pilot? What does it take to... At some point, I also wanted to be a lawyer. Mm-hmm. Hello. Anyway. Yeah. I would consult my dad. Because he would ask, what do you want to be? Mm-hmm. Be a pilot. Mathematics. Then I realized, math. It's for patience and long suffering. And I was like, no, maybe not.
Well, what don't you pick from? Is it Hosea who was steadfast to his wife? Who was it?
Who was
they had steadfast love. There is someone in the Bible.
I think it's Hosea who was married to a prostitute, right?
Yes, and he had steadfast love. So
yeah, no mathematics and I know. Math. Skawa. I found it. I did a course at the university that brought back math. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I was like, man, why don't you just let me be, man? Because numbers.
Not your friend.
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then lawyering.
Lawyering, apparently I didn't get what's that thing called? The weight.
Points.
The weight points to get me into the university.
Yeah.
So I did development economics at the university. So when I did that, I think the strength for law just... So now I'm like, nah, we have enough lawyers already. Yeah. And I don't need to do law. Yeah.
And here you are, because you talked about wanting to be a musician. Is it something that you lived long with?
Yes, I have lived... basically, music, I think, has had the longest impact on my life. My mom was a music teacher.
Wow.
My dad is a lover of music. So, plays a lot of music. I used to play a lot of music in the house. So, I grew up a lot in music. So, even throughout school, I was really just, into this whole music thing, MDD and all.
And yet, I just pointed at the TV and you say you didn't take part.
Oh, I did that. I know. I think these guys are they're doing a bit too much. I don't think I did stuff like that. Especially at that age. No.
What were you doing then?
I got involved actively in my secondary school life. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I was very active in that. For me in primary.
Yeah. No, I wasn't. Yeah.
So music, and then you're doing developmental studies.
Development economics.
Yeah. Is it something that you felt like you could pursue even while you figure out what you would come out with when it comes to development economics?
First of all, the course was actually scrapped off recently.
Wow.
And I'm glad they scrapped it off because it really didn't have a particular outcome. How you can say study industrial psychology and become a psychologist, or study education and become a teacher or something like that. Mm-hmm. The course had a bit of everything and nothing at the same time. Yeah. So I really just went through it because it was a course I got on government, so I just did it. Yeah. And then I was actively doing music at the time, music and poetry.
Music and poetry. That is a very important thing. The very first time I saw you, I was in your CU.
Oh, really?
Thank you so much.
Wow.
Oh, where did you think I had known you from? Sengaja. I knew you before.
I thought you were Sengaja, but okay.
I knew you before.
Yeah.
So you were on stage doing poetry.
Is this Azania?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And someone had pulled me to it because those things used to happen and I'm just known there.
Yeah.
So someone invited me and you were on stage. Mm-hmm. And I was like, who is that boy?
Who's that boy?
I was like, who is that?
Yeah.
I don't know after how long I saw you again, but your name stuck in my head. I was like, there is a person.
Yeah.
His name is Wake.
Wake, yeah.
Wake. There is Wake.
Wake, yeah.
I can't tell you what the poem was about.
Yeah.
But I remember the experience.
Yeah.
And I was like, that person.
Yeah.
That person.
Yeah.
So Wake, how did you come to be Wake? What did you wake up from?
What did I wake up from? Well, so interestingly, my very first name, I started out as a dancehall artist. Yeah.
Hey, but there's that song that I liked a lot and I was overplaying it.
Which song is that?
It's not even in Luganda.
Which song? My song?
Yeah, it is your song.
Abantu Veida? Muvule? No. It has dancehall vibes.
Yeah, I think. My goodness, where will I find the song? I'll find it. And I share it with you.
Now I'm scared. I'm like, which song is
I was overplaying it and I didn't even have I didn't think I would ever meet you then.
So it's not old. Shush.
No, I think it's like last year.
Wow. Anyway, I hope you find the song and I know
I'll try to look for it.
Yes, but I started out as a dancehall artist and my stage name was Mungo Park.
Mungo Park. Mm-hmm. What was the inspiration behind Mungo Park?
So Mungo Park, oh Lord. Mungo Park was a European explorer who died in River Niger.
Wow.
I don't know how it became. I don't know how it became my name, but I think I just liked the way it sounded. Mungo Park.
Wow.
Yeah, the things we do when...
Wait a minute. Which history were you studying? I've never heard of the name.
Even by senior 1, senior 2, we weren't doing history as such. So I don't know where the name came from. It's just Mungo Park. Maybe I'd had it somewhere.
Yeah.
It stuck. So my first stage name was Mungo Park. I don't know why I'm telling you these things. Okay. Then along the way, I became Swagger Saf.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
How old were you then?
Swagger Saf, I was in my senior 4. Mm-hmm. I was probably maybe 14 or 16. Yeah, so Swagger Saf.
I mean, that's the period of swag.
Yeah, there was actually a song called Swag Saf. I think that's where I got my name.
Oh, I've never heard of it.
It's a Lil Wayne song, Swag Saf. Anyway, moving on swiftly, I became Wake. So around maybe 2014, 15, there was a gentleman that was helping me out with this whole music thing. It's called Stone Town.
Yeah.
So we're in studio. The studio is called Urban Accent. And we're just playing through some of the music I'd recorded. And him and a group of people in studio told me, man, when we play the music, the content is dope. But when you hear the name of the artist, it just doesn't connect. Like that guy's called Swagger Saf. So I think that was the first time a name change was brought up to me. So I started thinking about names. But Wake really just came to me. The word just came to me, to my mind. It's like I got like an epiphany.
Yeah.
But it came during a time when I was just really realizing who I was or who I am in terms of self-discovery, in terms of like my faith as a Christian, but also my heritage as an African. So I was waking up to who I am.
Oh, wow. So you didn't wake up from something. You woke up to something.
Yeah.
That is interesting. Mm-hmm. A realization of yourself.
I woke up from Swagger Saf and Mungo Park. So I woke up from that.
Right.
Yeah.
So what really surprised me was seeing that there is a requirement of a concept when it comes to an album. Mm-hmm. I don't know if other people do it, but for me, I was like, this is special.
Yeah.
This is different.
Yep.
This is not, you don't find this anywhere.
Absolutely.
And we have Morty.
Morty.
Am I pronouncing it right?
Yes, you are.
We have Morty.
Yeah.
Up and streaming.
Yep.
How old is it now? Is it a month? Has it made a month? It has made a month. It made a month last month.
Yeah. October. July 24th was when I dropped Morty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So about a month.
And you were talking about how it's a sequel to Wanaweka.
Wanaweka, yes.
Help us understand what the relevance of a concept to an album, or do we get to first start understanding what an album is?
Well, where should I start? I think an album is like a statement, like a body of work, like a book. Yeah, like if you want to write a book, there are chapters that, or like you split your content into chapters, and each chapter sort of is like a building block to the entire book.
Yeah.
So that's how I'd explain an album, that each song is like a chapter to the whole book. Yeah.
So the songs really have to be connected in a way.
Yeah, there has to be something connecting the songs, either in style, in terms of style of production, or it can be anything. It can be style of production, it can be theme, what you're talking about on the songs. It can be, say, it can really be anything. The artists maybe that are featuring on it, could be the style of writing.
Do you think most musicians do that?
Do albums or like have
like
concepts?
follow up on the relevance of an album?
I mean, with this age that we're in, artists nowadays, I think the days that we are in and the times really don't allow for, or maybe it's a trend that singles are much more consumable than albums. People consume music now in singles more than in albums.
Right.
That's why you see that some artists are releasing either singles or like EPs, which are really like shorter albums.
Oh, an EP is a shorter album.
Yeah.
Is there a specific number of songs in an album?
Technically, anything above 1 hour total playtime should be
an album.
Yeah. Anything in the range of 1 hour and below is either an EP or an LP, which is like a, what is a word? I don't know what LP stands for, but I think this is my own definition of it. It's like a long play. Mm-hmm. I think I butchered it. But an EP is like an LP is like a longer EP, which is not an album.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So you have Wanaweka as prequel. Is it a prequel?
And this is the first time I'm hearing this word. I don't know if it exists.
Oh my God.
Prequel.
Let me see.
Please, first.
It is existent.
Prequel.
A short story or film containing events which precede those of an existing work. Yes. So.
Oh, okay. No, I've learned something, man. Prequel. I can't wait to use it.
What are you talking about? How do you use sequel without knowing prequel?
I don't know. I mean, I've been using sequel. Wow.
So Wanaweka, help us understand the concept behind it.
So Wanaweka was my first studio project. It's an EP, a 6-track EP. And the story of Wanaweka is my story. It's also the story of Ugandans, some Ugandans. Story of Africa. It's really a story of, so basically I use the story of Palisa. Okay, there's this lady, she's called Namugwere, who is the mother of Bugwere.
Yeah.
She's doing well, she's healthy, her family is healthy, she has a lot of land, she has a lot of livestock, food, and just everything is thriving, right?
Yeah.
Visitors are coming to, get food because she has surplus of it. So along the way, she gets hit by a disease that is strange to the village. The medicine men were not able to diagnose this strange disease. So this disease starts eating her away. And so because of this disease, she's not able to sort of take care of her land and her family and all. And so things start deteriorating. And so food starts disappearing. Things just start falling apart.
Yeah.
Because of her health. So visitors start coming and taking things away, stealing from her. Her children are in a space of where they're not really, 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 about her business anymore.
They abandoned her.
They abandoned her.
Is this like an ancient story? Or is it fiction?
This is fiction.
Meanwhile, I was very attentive.
No.
Feeling like this is a version of Chintu and Nami.
Listen, this is, okay, let me put it this way. This is an ancient story because 100 years from now, we are going to be ancestors. So, anyway, so the children start deserting her. So, the few children that stay, she asks them to go to other places, like outside Bugwere, to look for medicine for her. And so I am that child, I am one of those children that are in a place away from home, but we are essentially here because we are looking for medicine to better our mother.
Oh, yes. So
that's the story of Mwanaweka. So the songs on the album are really around home and what home is and the things troubling my mother. You understand?
Wait, when I read about that, I thought it was your real mother.
So this is the thing. So my mom, my late mother, was called Namugwere.
Yo.
So essentially, she's the mother of Bugwere. You understand? So yeah, you can say it's my real mom because it's a real story because I am here in Kampala because, home is a weird, not weird place, but, rural urban migration, like it's good schools at this side,
rural urban migration,
opportunities at this side, the light is sort of this side. So I'm here looking for medicine to make my mom better, if you understand.
Right.
Yeah.
Wholesomely.
Yeah. Yeah. So Mwanaweka on the track, and just about Mwanaweka. So the story of Mwanaweka is a story of like brain drain and how Ugandans leave Uganda to go abroad to look for greener pastures, and Africans going abroad to look for greener pastures. It's like a bigger, So Mwanaweka on the Track is a sequel to that story. Basically, we get to see the child of home away from home. What is he up to? What is he doing?
Right.
Is he still looking for medicine, or is in vibes and just chilling? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we look into, because it's heavily collaborative.
Oh, yes,
12,
it is.
12 artists.
With different people of different... Oh, yes. Now, wow, why didn't I think about it before? Because when I read your concept, you had talked about how Mwanaweka has moved away from home and he is having an... Is he a he?
I am. He is a he. His pronouns are he and he.
The politics. Yeah. So... I'm saying we're seeing Mwanaweka having an experience of different, what did you call it? Different what?
Different is it cultures?
Something like that, cultures.
Yeah.
So it makes sense when I see the different collaborations on the album. Yeah,
because essentially if I'm to get medicine for my mom wholesomely, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
A collaboration is a must. Because then I get to tap into different people's experiences.
That's right.
And different people then can advise on, this worked for our mom, so this would probably work for your mom. So that's why it was heavily collaborative. So Mwanaweka on the Track, is like I was saying, the child of home. We just get a glimpse into what their life is.
Yeah.
So they have found God, they have found light, which is the knowledge of God, and they have found like these other people, who are from different places. And so, yeah.
And how do you veer into poetry? Because if we're seeing you wanting to be a pilot, musician, and then you're here doing a course that doesn't have really a lead as to what to do in life, how then do you become this poet?
So I did literature for 6 years in high school. I think that's where it comes from.
Wow.
But I never really liked it.
You didn't?
No.
How then did you do it?
I don't know. I never really liked it.
For 6 years?
Yes. But I kept passing it. And so there's a time, I think, when I was at the university, and I used to go for this show called the Open Mic Show. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
I have.
Yeah, so the Open Mic Show is where I was first exposed to live recital of poetry.
Right.
Because I used to go there as a musician.
And that was at campus?
Yes, at campus. It used to have been at the museum. So when I saw these people reciting, I think it was Maritza, the Maritzas, the Jason Taros, the Peter Kagais, the Mark Gordons, the ancestors of Uganda.
Ancestors!
I like to call them. Actually, they are the judges, then they are the ancestors. So these guys
who are the
Ampeos of the
Kagai.
Yeah. Shout out to you guys, man. So watching these guys perform sort of exposed me to the power of the words because I was being moved by every single syllable coming out of this guy's lips.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want some of that. So I started out by just speaking my poetry lines. You get my rap lines. So my rap songs, I just started speaking them, and that's how I started that whole poetry thing. And yeah, that's how it started out essentially. Yeah.
How long did it take for you to perfect the art?
I think I'm still perfecting the art.
You kid. Where do you want to reach, my dear? You want to kill us?
No, I think perfection is a never-ending pursuit. Ooh, that sounds cool.
You can write it.
She's quote that somewhere. Anyway, perfection is a never-ending pursuit. But I've been at it for maybe 7 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, maybe 6 or 7 years, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then you maintain the name Wake,
yes.
Your artistic works.
Yeah, Wake.
So, Mukagwa Wange. What does Mukagwa mean? Let me tell you something. I was listening to the album and I was not understanding some things. I was like, well, let's vibe. Like, let me just catch the vibe.
Yeah.
We shall find out later.
Wow.
Mukagwa was...
Mukagwa Wange.
It was, is it like my friend?
Yes.
I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay, passed.
Yeah. See? Yeah, you're close.
Because I was just vibing to it. Like, this sounds good.
Yeah.
What inspired Mukagwa?
So Mukagwa Wange is a celebration of my mom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Mukagwa Wange, it means my friend. And so the storyline of the song is a friend of mine who relocated to another village.
Yeah.
Without telling me. And so I just woke up one day and this friend of mine who used to be with me is no longer there. You get? And so I'm like, where you? Yeah. So that's the story.
Oliwa Mukagwa Wange.
Yeah.
I was dancing, not understanding what's happening.
Right.
Because why are you dancing to a friend who is lost? You people are going to, it's just like Obangaina. People were dancing to Obangaina and they're telling me.
Now that you speak of it, because Obangaina has Lugwere in it.
Oh, it does?
Yes, it's a mixture of Lugwere and Lusoga.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Nabairano Nkunonya is Lugwere.
Yo, we were vibing to that song and this lady is actually complaining.
I'd never thought of it like, because man, and when that guitar comes up,
type of vibe.
Yeah. You first tell the chick, we first forget your problems. Let's first vibe. First hear that guitar.
So I'm like, oh my God, where was I dancing to Mukagwa?
No, please dance. I think for me, the song comes from a happy place.
But it has a vibe, friend.
Yes, because it's
irresistible.
Yeah, I intentionally want to celebrate my mom from a happy place of like, yo, this. Because even I think this where, I don't know why I wrote it, but I want to celebrate her like she's here.
Right.
Yeah. So it's in a positive light. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So hence the vibes.
Mm-hmm. So we also have Sengeja. Mm-hmm. It's what really got me excited. Like, when you look forward to the end, like, I can't wait to reach the end.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Because I didn't go through it fast. Mm-hmm. I just played right away from the very first song. And then towards the end, I see Sengeja, I'm like, you are kidding.
Like, finally.
It is here?
Yeah.
Because I thought Sengeja was done.
Yeah.
And this was a totally different project.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. So when I saw Sengeja, I was like, oh my God. What inspired Sengeja?
Sengeja, like I said, the way I got into poetry is just from the experience of hearing these people's words and essentially hearing the words and the words reaching into places that I didn't know existed in my soul. And I'm like, that emotion has been evoked because I can hear what the person is saying. So I've sort of come to realize that there's power in words.
There is power in words.
The creative ability of words is unmatched. There's someone that, I don't know why I had this exercise where they asked us to close our eyes. Just close your eyes, don't imagine, just make sure you have a blank mind, don't think about anything, don't imagine anything, and don't imagine a blue elephant, don't imagine a red coat.
That is so much stillness.
And then when the person starts saying blue elephant, you see a blue elephant in your mind. Somehow like when they start saying these things, don't imagine this. Because they've said it.
You're actually going to think about it.
Your mind starts sort of, what does that look like?
Right.
And so Sengeja is from a place of, there's this powerful tool that we have that many people don't quite understand. So it's really a poem that's talking about sieving one's words, okusengeja ebigambo, because words can make, words can break, words can give, words can take.
Right?
Yeah.
And then we have different versions. There's a Luganda version. There's a Losoga version.
Yes.
I have never enjoyed Losoga that much. Like, whoa! Oh my God.
Man, it's a Mitch and Kunta.
Meanwhile, I saw Kunta and I didn't know. And then I heard the voice. I was like, but I know this person.
Brian Alex. Alexander Brian.
He's going to kill us.
Man. Yeah, no, but the remix comes from a place of, I don't know if you've heard Waiki Bender's, what's that song called? I think it's called Bombo Clat.
I don't know it. Maybe when I hear the song, I'll be like, oh, I've heard the song.
How does it go? Let's see. I probably don't know how to sing, but it's a song where he features rappers, like Ugandan rappers, like a bunch of rappers. And
Waiki Bender?
Yeah. Then he keeps doing versions of like this version and then this version. It's like for the culture of hip hop.
Oh,
so I was trying to do something like that for the culture of poetry, just having poets express themselves on this theme.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I invited a couple of poets that were gracious enough to accept. So we did a Luganda version that has Nze and Sebolule.
Yeah.
Then we had the one with Kunta and Isabile Mitch. Then we had the All-Star remix that had Noisy, it had Maritza, had Bash Mutumba, it had Mitch, it had Makenriata.
Medi Progress. Did you hear? His part had my name, like
Nabuguzi.
I was in shock. I paused. I was like, hold up. That is my name. I have reached category. Celebrity. Why?
Yeah, you've made it. You've started being quoted.
No, I wasn't quoted. So
no, you've started, like, your name has started appearing in
Hey,
places.
my friend, in the people's content. Like,
So,
Racho Yombane Nabuguzi. I was like, wah!
Yeah,
And you know, he didn't even say anything.
yeah.
No, he didn't. He didn't say anything. I was listening to it because I made mom listen.
Yeah.
When I find something beautiful, I want everyone to know.
Yeah.
So that morning, I was playing it.
Yeah.
And then I heard my name. I ran to her bedroom like, first listen
to this.
My name is here.
Wow.
So, because then that's when he tells me that because of the content that I keep creating and I just cause havoc and then
Nabuguzi.
Nabuguzi.
Racho Yombane Nabuguzi. Even me, I didn't know that. Did I know? I think I knew you before Sengeja. Had you started doing? Because there was, there Facebook accounts. There's Mwami's account. There's Simon Binzika. There's a guy called Beck.
Yeah.
And then you. And then also Hillary Okello. Accounts that somehow would appear consistently in my feed. So I think I'd seen Nabuguzi somewhere before, but not in that sense that Mehdi put it out.
My friend, I was excited.
So,
So you were doing it for the culture of poetry.
Yes.
And then Sengeja is here.
Yeah.
How did you pick the theme? Is it that was it a moment that you felt, I feel like this is really important for people to sieve their words?
Yeah. It is really from a place of sharing knowledge with people to say, yo, there's this one creative thing that humans have over any other species.
Yeah.
And we can create war, we can create peace, we can create prosperity, we can create poverty. I think even the Bible says death and life are in the power of the tongue. So
death and life are in, oh my God.
Power of the tongue. There's a verse that says that.
Because, words can make and words can break.
Yeah. Hence the poem, Sengeja.
Hence the poem, Sengeja.
Yeah.
I when you look at your bio on Facebook, you seem to be very ingrained in Christianity.
Yes.
Because you said, I am a Christian spoken word artist.
Yeah.
And for me, in my mind, I was like, why is it important to mention that?
Mention
you are a Christian.
That's a very good question. For a long time, I'd actually struggled. Okay, not struggle, but I'd battle. Okay, it's the same one.
You want to find a softer one?
Yeah, because it's not intense. It wasn't like an intense. I was running around circles with the idea of, are you a Christian artist or are you an artist that's a Christian?
Yeah.
And I realized for me, my reality, my experience is that Christianity and the experience that I've had, I am who I am because of that.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And so me putting it in the back is sort of me denying who I am. And yeah, so that's why I say I am a Christian musician.
Right.
Yeah. Because it has really, 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 in my experience, has been the love of God in that direction for me to be here where I am today. Yeah.
Tumble and say yeah.
Come on now.
Tumble and say yeah.
Hey. Yeah.
Kubanga ndi mugumu.
Ndi mugumu kubanga entalo zange yazirwana.
Right. And I remember, I can't really tell what words I used.
Yeah.
But I think I say something like, man, this faith thing, it can be troubling.
Man, no. You don't say.
Yeah.
I think, who was it? Might have been Denzel Washington, or I don't know who the person was, but there's someone that said, when you pray for strength, God will give you a situation to sort of get that will require you to be strong. When you pray for courage, God will give you a situation that will cause you to either fear or be courageous.
Yeah.
When you pray for example, peace, and you say, God, I want peace, there will be a war. Because
dear. You have to inspire the peace. Or is it for you to understand the value of
essentially, peace is non-existent without war.
You would never understand what peace is.
You would never understand what peace is. Patience. You say, God, I want to be patient. He will give you situations that will try your patience.
Right.
And then your patience will come to life. So this whole faith thing and walking through the valley of the shadow of death, it's like there's a joke that Christians be asking God to, dear Lord, I'm ready, send me wherever, test me with fire.
No, I'm not asking for testing with fire. I cannot manage.
Christians be asking, Lord, test me with fire. And then God sends the
Not
fire.
me.
And then they start rebuking the fire. This cannot be of God. I rebuke this fire. Yeah. So for me, Nseye comes from a place where I was in probably one of my, this is second most terrible depression I've gone through in my life. And in that moment, it's like a point of helplessness, a point of like hopelessness. And yet I still felt like it is in that point that then faith makes sense, because you are essentially at rock bottom. You essentially have nothing to hold on to.
Yeah.
You essentially see nothing in sight, and faith by definition is evidence of things unseen. So
Faith
is the evidence of things unseen.
Evidence of things unseen.
Yes. Yeah, so I think there's a very thin line between faith, mental health, depression, things like anxiety, and because they're in the same sort of wavelength. So
right.
What I've said earlier about if you're praying for peace, there will be a war.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a thin line between the two of those.
You are going to be tested all the time.
You're going to be tested all the time. So for me, was at a point where mentally I was really not stable. I had lost sense of who I was. I remember telling one of my friends that I feel like my life has no color because I'm just uninspired, just seeing black and white. Jokes are not funny. Food is not tasty. I love food. And nothing is, And yet in that space for me, and my experience has been that still God was able to somehow reach me and restore color.
Restore color?
Yeah.
Was that with you searching for him to restore the color?
Was I searching? Well, I think I was actively searching. Was I searching for him? Maybe not. Because, man, you get to a place. I remember there's a time I was just weeping on the floor, and I was telling him, if this is how you want me to end, I'm here. I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this doesn't make sense anymore. Because there are promises in the Bible for Christians.
Yeah.
So when your life is not, it's like the Bible says you're the head and not the tail. It says you shall be the first and not the last.
Right.
And then you're at a point where you feel like you're the tail. You feel like you're the last. You're at a point where you're being tried. You're not even tried. You're at a point where you've lost. And you're wondering, but if you do exist, why would you let your child go through something like this?
Right.
So was I searching? Maybe not. And I think it is okay. I mean, such conversations are very difficult to have in the church because it's a sticky situation.
It is.
Yeah, it's a sticky
People are going to start rebuking you.
Yeah, it's a sticky situation.
They're actually going to look at you as the devil.
But I think it is okay to complain to God. I think
it is.
God in his being is able to see beyond these things and know exactly where you are, because there are people in the Bible that complained to God. Even
there is a whole book, Lamentations.
But even Jesus got to a point where he told God, I can't bear this cup anymore.
Take it away from me.
Take it away
if it be your will.
He sweated.
That is so hard.
He sweated blood.
And we have not reached that extent.
Meanwhile, he was God in human flesh. So for me, I was really just looking for comfort. I was looking for someone to hold me. I remember talking to my dad at some point. One of the mornings, I was just terrible.
Yeah.
And he told me, where are you? He asked me where I was. I told him I'm at home. He told me, get out. Just step out of the house, because if you stay in the house, you might... And so I was looking for something to hold on to in the physical realm.
Yeah.
It's not spirit. When you're in a depression and someone comes and tells you God loves you.
Oh my God.
You're like,
I know.
Bruh, fast chill. Fast go on the sokoleke. But God reached me through people because I was reaching out to people. And people were really concerned about me. So people would check on me. I had friends come to sleep over.
Oh, they knew you were struggling.
Yes. I had friends invite me to sleep over theirs such that I am with company. And I believe that God restored me through people. I think God restores through people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when they were calling you out, or are they inviting you to their places, and you were also allowing them to your space?
Yeah.
Had you acknowledged the importance of community?
Man, so the church that I go to is very big on community. And so I had really sort of gotten a glimpse of what community does. I realized that even before when I started getting signs and symptoms of this might be a terrible space that I'm going into, I started reaching out to people. And so I have like a small inner circle of like people that I'm open with and tell, And so those people have really, really helped me. Community, man, no one is an island.
No one.
Yeah, so community for me helped me a lot to come out of this thing. And even to like bring into life my faith. Mm-hmm. Faith came through people. People just had faith in me to know that, okay, if this one is suffering, we'll be there for them because we believe in them and they deserve to.
And when you were with them, while you were struggling, were you having these conversations about what is really going on in your mind?
Yeah, especially with the inner circle people. I shared things that, yeah, I think everyone needs to have some inner circle people that they're just open with, who understand them. So in these spaces, I would just be as vulnerable as possible to these people. Not because they have an answer, but just because I need a place to vent.
You need a place to vent.
Yeah, to just express my anger. And these people are really, really there to just listen. Sometimes just buy me food. And slowly with time, the seed sort of breaks through the ground and starts sprouting.
More like a rebirth.
Yeah.
Because you're already on earth.
Exactly. Yeah. That's actually exactly what I went through. And this is the thing. From my experience, the whole depression and this dark space that I went through, in hindsight, I can see now that it was a place that God intentionally took me through. These are still difficult conversations to have in church because it requires certain maturity to know that for a seed to bear fruit, that seed has to die.
Oh, yes.
Like it cannot just be there and bear fruit. No, it has to go into the ground, get buried, and die. And then
it germinates.
Out of supernatural, we don't know what happens, but
you hear me using science words. Germination.
Germination. Okay, define epigeal germination.
Epigeal. I know dicotyledon.
Wow. See you life. Please return the school fees, really. You should return the school. You did use it up. Yeah. So anyway, it was, I was in a dark place, but I was a seed that has been planted. Now it takes a lot of maturity for you to be in a place of pain and see that, okay, there's something happening here. Let me just wait. Because in hindsight, the things that I am now, the album Moti comes from that place, a place of depression, and then just somehow you start channeling these energies into music, channeling these energies into creativity.
That's like a place of venting as well, music.
Yeah. And so, and even me as a person, I grew a lot out of that. I discovered a lot of things about myself. And I'm a much better person because of that. I would go through it again.
Ah?
Yes.
No.
Yes. You know why? Because I have learned to appreciate pain and the growth that pain brings. Yeah. Yeah. Our generation nowadays, anything pain, they're out. But
they're done.
just like peace, man.
Deuces.
I am no pain.
I'm supposed to slay.
Come on. And so if it is, for me, I know that if it is a difficult situation, I am excited to see what is at the end of it.
What is at the end of the tunnel?
Yeah. Sometimes it might be nothing. It might actually be the end of you. But yeah.
You know why I found it very important for me to point that out is we go into, I've seen a version of Christians that go into rebuke mode.
Yeah.
That it's very important how you mention that the Bible talks about how you are the head and on the tail.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to be the first and not the one at the bottom.
Yeah.
You come to a space of seeing these Christians talking about things like, I rebuke, I can never be this, I can never be that. You go into rebuke mode instead of, taking steps back.
Yeah.
And, experience the moment and accept. And also sometimes it also goes as far as bringing a seed of doubt in the presence of God.
Yeah.
That is why when I listened to Nseye before the album,
come on now.
I was like, oh man, this God thing. Because I've also been, the way how you say that is very important. It's okay rather to complain about God.
Yeah.
I've been in that space. I'm like, oh, man, leave me alone.
First chill. That's where I was, man. I was like, God, okay, first chill.
Yeah. Let me handle my business. It's just, you failed?
Chiganye.
Let me do it myself.
But in those moments, and in hindsight, I've seen God's goodness. I've actually learned to appreciate just how patient God is. Because I realize He's outside time. Mm-hmm. Because He's outside time, He's able to see you in the future. And how this present pain, if you deal with it correctly, will give you glory in the future.
But you know that he that also becomes annoying in a way when you're in that moment. Mm-hmm. So if you are all-knowing, why didn't you stop it? Well,
like I said, for me, pain, I realized I had to go through certain things. There's a verse in the Bible, okay, I don't know if it's a verse, where Jesus rebukes Peter and calls
Satan behind
me, Satan.
Right.
He was talking about being killed on the cross, and Peter was saying, that can never happen to you, I'll never let it happen. I'll fight for you and protect you. And you would think,
see the person who fought for him.
And I would think, this is actually a good thing. Peter is defending Jesus. And Jesus says, get behind me, Satan. Because he knows in my line of glory, this is a major step I can't miss. And that major step is pain. Dying on the cross. Some terrible type stuff.
And then resurrect.
Now, when he resurrected, that it was done. But some people like to have the crown without the cross, which is... So God sees you with the crown only if you can get through the cross.
Right.
Many Christians stop at the cross. They're like, nah,
I'm done.
Out.
He is not existent.
Stay with your crown. I shall look for my own crown.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there are so many crowns. People crown people. Social media can crown you.
Right.
If you have many likes, that's some form of crown. Mm-hmm. Validation. If you're verified, that's some form of crown.
Yeah.
Is it a God crown? Maybe not.
And you talked about that moment being your second major depression.
Yeah.
Can we talk about, is it possible for you to talk about the first one and what could have happened in the second one? Because you go through the first one and then you imagine you have survived and possibly gotten the coping skills, and then before you know it, you're back.
The second one.
Yeah.
I say 1 and 2 because they're from different places. The first one was really to do with family.
Oh, yeah.
I got to discover certain things about my family that, wow. I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. And so I went into a depression because I sort of did not know what to do.
Right.
Where to go from there, because the things that I knew were being questioned. I had all these questions about essentially me, but from a point of the other people who are my family, and how am I here today, and how am I just discovering this thing today?
Yeah.
And then the second one, it comes from a place of, there are certain establishments that I had set up in my life, business-wise,
Right.
relationship-wise, just so many things were going for me around that time. And then, just like in a short period of time, you know how the foundations are just getting knocked down. This has been taken away. This has been taken away.
Ooh, the job style.
And I was like, yo, oh yeah. I was like, what? But I realized, anyway, still from a growth perspective, I realized that I had built so much of my identity on the things around me. And so it was a learning experience for me to know, but who I am, who am I?
Who am I?
Outside everything, who are you, Wake, and are you happy with you? I had never really,
Besides the things that you're getting.
yeah, besides all these things, and I feel like that's what God was drawing me to, of, okay, if I take away everything, who are you? Are you happy with you?
Ooh.
You know? Are you happy with you?
That is what Corona did to us.
Otio?
That is what Corona did to
Yeah.
us.
So I
Get away from the club. Get away from your job. Like,
Yeah.
stop running and be still.
be still. I think even Kendrick Lamar has a song about that on his new album that talks about take out all these things, and he keeps mentioning all things. Take out the Wi-Fi, take off the Wi-Fi, take off the social media, take off the makeup, take off the clothes, take off. What do you remain with?
What do you remain with?
Yeah. Now that is the one. If you are happy with that, then you can survive anything. Yeah, you can survive anything. Yeah.
And here we are. Have you managed to have healthy coping mechanisms? Emphasis is healthy.
Healthy coping mechanism.
Yeah.
I think so. One, community for me has been, I've learned to open up,
Yeah.
to find someone who might be in a better place than I am, especially in the area I'm struggling with. So for example, if you're struggling with a business thing, find someone in your circle who's doing well in business.
Right.
If you're struggling, say, with relationships, find someone who is married, for example, or single, if depending on the direction you want to go to. You may get someone who is single and they ask you to get a divorce, which might help you
Oh,
if
that's
that's
right.
where you want to go.
Yeah.
So for me, community, one. Two, I have really, really benefited a lot from prayer. And I've come to understand the mystery behind prayer. Some things are just beyond your control.
Yeah.
You never know. Even people, the way people come into your life. I remember when I was going through that depression, just random people calling me.
Yo, there's a way how that happens.
I don't know. People who rarely call you. It's just, yo, I'm just checking on you.
Exactly.
How are you just checking on
I
me
experienced
when I'm
that.
about to die?
And then for me, I was telling God, you have a way of showing off.
Right? Yeah, man. I had those of like, man. Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned God, because even me in those moments I realized, oh, okay, so this is you trying to reach out. I'm not interested.
Well,
but I see you. You're doing great. I'm not interested.
well, for me, it happened after crying to him.
Yeah,
I was in church and my feet were really heavy.
yeah,
And it was a Sunday, but I was really weighed down. And this is just last year.
yeah,
Because I returned from Kenya and all of a sudden there was so much to do.
yeah,
And I had an event in November, the Children's Day event.
yeah,
And I had not done anything. I was done with every other thing. And then the event still needed my energy. I was spent.
yeah,
I couldn't do anything. And then there were just a few days to the event. I was like, who am I going to start bothering to contribute?
yeah,
It's too late.
yeah,
And then I became sleepless.
Yeah.
And then that's when I was like, okay, this is not good. It's going out of hand. So I carried myself to church. Like, I pushed myself.
Yeah.
And I was there and I was also praying because I stepped away from the charismatic system of, Banya, say, no. I want to be peaceful in prayer.
Yeah.
So I was there and I was also angry that I had gone for that mass. I'm Catholic.
Yeah.
I had gone for that mass and I was like, these guys are going to make noise for me.
Yeah.
Luckily, they did not. And I had a moment to commune with God.
Yeah.
And I cried. I was like, it's heavy.
Yeah.
It's heavy. Like, tears streamed out of my eyes. And I felt lighter.
Yeah.
And then I get home. People are texting me.
Yeah.
What's up? You're quiet? Are you okay?
Are you
This
okay?
is not your usual you.
Yeah.
Someone off Facebook contacted me for the first time.
Wow.
Like 7 a.m.
Yeah.
She called me.
Yeah.
She's like,
that's mad, man.
So I was like, I've got this. We're going to ace it.
Yeah. There's that feeling you get. Yeah. No, it's so, the situation, your story is exactly the same as mine because it comes from there's a particularly terrible day where I'd left work from, wearing this mask of, hey, what's up? I'm good. Until you go back to your space.
Ooh, you are thrown to yourself.
And then I just went into this I think I passed out that day. Just crying, like you say, just crying to God. That's the day I told him, if this is how you're taking me, I am done.
Yeah.
I'm done fighting. It's too much. And then the next morning, my dad calls me. My dad is like, yo, you guy, how are you? I really thought about you today. How are you doing? I was like, okay. Another guy, rarely talk, like 4 years not talking.
Yeah.
How are you? Checking on you. What? Another person sends a voice note. I really felt led to pray for you. What? And there's an artist on radio, I think Scoopy Bly, who was on Power FM, and they were asking him, which artists would you really like to work with? And they said, Wake. I really like what Wake is doing. Is an amazing. And Power FM posted that tweet.
Wow.
So I'm scrolling through Twitter and I see this tweet. I'm like, something is happening. I'm going to ace this one.
Right.
There's that feeling you get. Okay.
Yeah, we're actually going to survive this.
Yeah.
It's not just time out.
You mentioned that because it's exactly what I felt. It's like, all right, let's do it. It doesn't take the pain away, but it helps.
Yeah, it's like it's a balm. It's like a pain balm, and it just keeps going slowly by slowly.
Yeah,
I mean, someone that I just met him. Recently, this year.
Yeah,
I had been in conversation with him. I don't know for how long.
Yeah,
possibly from 2020 or even before.
Yeah,
and then I take long to talk to him, but we sort of had a great relationship friendship, I would say. And then I think we had last chatted-ish in May. And then November, like, talk to me. What's up?
Wow.
Who sent you?
Who sent you? That's a very good one. Who sent you?
But I talked, and then I also had to ask, where are you?
Yeah.
And then he tells me he's been having family issues. And now when he opened up to me, I was like, oh, great. People are struggling. I'm not alone.
That's what I was going to say, man. There's someone who told me, be kind to everyone because everyone is carrying some luggage of some type. There's a person that you might see and think, oh, this person has it made,
right?
Life is great, until they sit you down. And you're like, God, first work on them. You will work on me later. It's okay.
You're like, let us help this one. Me, I am okay.
I like that. God,
I am okay.
Dear Lord, let us help this one. I like that. Yeah, let's first help this one.
You have a show coming up in October?
Yes, I do have my very first concert on the 8th of October.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Mwanaweka Experience.
Where is it going to be?
It's going to be at the Alliance Francais basement. in Kamocha. Plot 52. Bukoto
How much
Street.
do people have to pay for it?
30,000 only.
What time does it begin?
We are starting at 6 p.m. All the way.
Till morning?
No, please.
Overnight.
You have beds. Shall go to your beds. It will end maybe 10.
Right.
Yeah, 10, 11. Yeah.
And the following day will be public holiday.
Independence Day.
But is it during the week?
It is a Sunday, yeah. Let's cut
Can
you
you
guys.
imagine?
Sazi.
Such a disappointment.
Cut you.
What words do you have to leave for us, for the listener of this episode?
I will leave for you the words that carried me through that period of time. Seek first the kingdom of God, and all these things will be added unto you. That can be translated, if you don't really believe in God yet, can be translated as stay close to your source as long as it takes.
Stay close to your source.
Yes, whatever your source is. It's a principle that works. If you stay at your source long enough, everything else will follow it. Everything else will serve your source, because your source is it's like a magnet. It pulls resources, it pulls people, it pulls all these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so stay there as long as possible. If you're a musician, stay at your source. What gives you the juice? Stay there. If you're a podcaster, stay there. What gives you the juice? Stay there. If you are whatever it is that you are, stay at the source. I would encourage you to pursue God if you've not yet pursued God.
Yeah.
Because for me, life is much, much, much more enjoyable with the knowledge of God. Yeah, and He is my source, so
You stayed close to your source.
I'm staying there. I intentionally make sure I stay there by, reading the Bible, praying, fellowship, attending church, stuff like that.
Do people contact you for anything?
Get in touch with me at Wake_256 on Twitter, at Wake_256 on Instagram, Wake256 on Facebook, Words of Wake on YouTube, Words of Wake on TikTok.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
It's been an honor. I've enjoyed myself.
You want to stay?
I want to stay. Can we do part 2? Hashtime part 2, season 2.
Season 2. We're in season 3. What are you saying?
Actually season 4. Hashtime season 4.
You shall return.
We will return.
My takeaway from this episode is that stay close to your source. Sounds complex. Sounds complex, but at least Wake explained it to us, and that's what I'm walking away with from this episode. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Hashtag with Nabguza Chiwanuka. If you loved what you heard, make sure you subscribe to Hashtag with Nabguza Chiwanuka in your podcast platform of choice and share it with your friends, loved ones, and anybody that you believe is affected by the millennial world around us. Also, feel free to share with us what connected with you on social media. Our hashtag is HTNKNStation, and you can also tag us in your posts. Hashtag with Nabguza Chiwanuka is the name on Instagram and Facebook, and on Twitter our handle is @HTNK Podcast. For more insightful conversations, check out nabguzachiwanuka.com, and I look forward to meeting you next week as we close September.